whatever is happening out there, damn, it's not that important. The people going through chemo or radiotherapy or whatever. Exercising that perspective on a daily basis against these things that are hitting your brain.
What was it that drove you to bounce back? Because I think a lot of people might not have managed that situation in quite the same way. You know, when they hit rock bottom, it's quite common that people don't bounce back from this.
The most immediate environment are my businesses and the people that I'm associating with, and then start looking at the business and reflecting and deep diving on the business. And I came to the conclusion that everything that we do, it's all about well-being.
And I want to go back to another word that you use a lot, which is the word purpose. And what does that mean to you, the word purpose? What's the importance of that?
It's a compass.
Okay.
It's, in the darkness, when you're blind, purpose gives you direction.
Kyriakos, welcome to Business Vlogs.
Thanks, man.
And if I can pronounce this correctly, Esparisto for joining us today.
Hey, well done. You've done your homework, man.
I picked up a little Greek when I was in Athens. That's it, though. And Heckley's a cat.
Excellent. And Aris on your jumper as well.
It's all very Greek today, isn't it?
I love it.
Weirdly Greek. Okay, so you're obviously... You've come from Greece, you've been here for 21 years, founded Nostos Catering and Restaurant. You've also, Little Jasmine Therapy, which is great, and nominated for a second time in a row for the Businessman of the Year for Sussex Business Awards.
You've done your homework.
No, I'm a huge fan. I think that's so cool. When this airs, I don't know when the awards are going to be, announced or anything.
4th.
Okay, cool.
December.
Okay, cool. So this will probably air after that happens. So good luck in that.
Thanks, man.
But yeah, I'm genuinely quite fascinated by your story as someone who has kind of started a whole new chapter in a whole other country, but kind of killed it as far as I'm concerned. And tell me a little bit about your, I guess maybe let's start with why you came to Brighton or come to the UK maybe.
Yeah. So all good things start with chaos and destruction.
Yeah.
If you go back to the universe, Big Bang, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you need a bit of messiness in order to create something beautiful, I think. And my story really follows that paradigm. So I've kind of messed up with everything that I've touched over the last couple of years. Back in Greece, 2003, 2002, my life wasn't doing well. Lost friends, family, lost my house, got fired from my job at that point in time. I wasn't living really to the expectations that I thought I would of the preceding years, doing a bachelor's degree in the UK, lived in Canada, so on and so forth. So my life was unraveling. So, and it's a beautiful thing when you hit bottom, is you bounce back. Or at least you try to bounce back. And that's what I've tried to do. So as part of my bouncing back process, I came with that sort of insight that I remember the night as well. I'm sitting in my bed and I moved back to my parents' home, my mom's home, because I've lost everything. And I thought, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go away, man. Because only by putting some distance between me and the mess that I've created, that my life is at this point, maybe I've got a chance to bounce back. So I called a friend. He was he was in Brighton doing his master's degree, Makis.
Okay.
Makis, what up, man? I need to leave Greece. Whereabouts are you? Can I come and crash in your sofa? Surfing, couch surfing, whatever you call it. Yeah. He said, yeah, man, absolutely. I'm here for the next couple of years, come along. I said, whereabouts are you? He said, Brighton. I said, what the fuck is Brighton? He said, dude, look it up. So I did. Google, 2003. So the first Google thing that comes up is Fatboy Slim. 100,000 people rocking it. Yeah. See from, the big party, right?
Yeah.
I'm coming out of my rave years, by the way. I'm like, man, this is it. This is my recovery space. So on the back of Fatboy Slim, I've moved to Brighton in 2004.
Nice.
Chaos, man. Chaos. It's a beautiful thing.
And what would you say, because I quite liked the when you talked about you have to like you bounce back and stuff. I suppose like what was it that drove you to bounce back? Because I think a lot of people might not have managed that situation in quite the same way. You know, when they hit rock bottom, it's quite common that people don't bounce back from this. So I suppose like what was going through your mind when that kind of happened, I suppose.
Yeah, I think I was raised and circumstances in my life up to that point made me a very resilient individual. And, coming from a broken family as well, really early in my life, it kind of makes you aware of things, makes you aware of yourself, your strengths, your capabilities, your weaknesses. And that awareness is knowledge and is power, end of the day, because you know yourself. And obviously I've built all this resilience and awareness inside of me. So I knew I was messing up. I knew I wasn't doing well in Greece. I knew that I wasn't living up to my expectations and my, capability, my potential, right? And that gap in between what I thought I should be doing and being, and the person I wanted to be, and where I was at that point, I could see the difference. I could see the gap. My gap analysis sort of like was there in front of me. So I needed to do something, something over and above of, I thought moving away was the solution at that point in time. I don't know why, but it just came to me, and it came to me, during an evening, semi-meditating, I guess, in my bed. And it was like, I need to go. I saw that sort of flash of inspiration, insight, and I worked my way over the next 6 months to pay all my debts, raise some money, and then off I go to the UK to start this new life, I guess.
So would you describe that as more of a being pushed, or being as in pushed from Greece, or being pulled towards something else? Like what was it?
I think the pull was stronger.
Yeah.
But there's definitely push because everything else was crumbling around me. So my opportunity cost, if I need to go to my economics degree, my opportunity cost of leaving Greece wasn't great. Yeah. So in other words, I wasn't losing anything. I needed to move. Obviously my family and all that, but it's 3 hours away with a flight. It's not that far away, to be honest with you. So it felt like the right thing at the right time. I was 27 at that point in time as well.
Oh wow, okay. So you meant there's a couple of like words and terms that you use there that I found quite interesting, because you used the word potential a minute ago, and you also said I could see the gap between where I was and the man that I want to be. So I guess like my curiosity is around both of those. So like, when you say like, what do you see as your potential now then? Because if that's something that's important to you, how do you see potential now for you?
Yeah, it has changed and evolved, obviously. But we're human beings, man. We're like gods, I think. I truly
like
believe
Greek gods.
We're Greek gods, exactly. That's the culture, obviously. I think that I believe in the human potential. Yeah. I believe in the in sort of growth mindset. Yeah. I believe in lifelong learning. Yeah. And I believe in that sort of developmental aspect of the human experience. Without checks and balances, that can go wrong as well. See the environment, see war, see politics, see all that. We're too smart sometimes for our own good. But I truly believe in the human potential, and I felt I wasn't living up to it, and that comes through life experiences, reading, interacting with other people. I could judge at age 27. You know a lot of things. You might not be able to put them in words, but you have that feeling that do you know what? I can do more. Yeah, and I felt at that point I can do so much more. Yeah, but I was lost. With all sorts of things in my life. As I said, coming out of my rave years, having fun, enjoying myself, but at the same time, building the next step for my life, for my living experience. I wasn't living true to that potential, and that's why I need to do something.
I'm curious when you describe, because the impression that I get is that you're very forward thinking. You're kind of constantly looking at, like, you use the term like next step there and stuff. Like, I suppose I'm interested to know, having accomplished what you have accomplished and having done what you have done, what feels like the next step for you, maybe.
Sure. As I said, it's an ever-evolving concept of what's next and what's the next development. But at this point in my life, it's really giving back
Okay.
and improving the community around me, because I've discovered love for myself, and only when you start loving yourself, you're able to radiate that outwards. I think so. It needs to start with authentic, true love for yourself and your being, and then you start radiating that outwards. And at this point in my life, that and obviously I had a lot of help, during the last 5 years, therapy, so on and so forth, especially during the lockdown.
Yeah.
And I've discovered a lot of things about myself, and more importantly, love about myself. And then once you get that, you're able, in a position to have, to be able to radiate love outwards. And I'm in a fortunate position to have these skills, capabilities, assets, whatever businesses, a connection with so I'm very effective in doing that. So yeah, back to your question, really is help evolve, help support, build and evolve my community. I think that's really my mantra.
I love the term like my community there, because it's like there's a real sense of firstly like belonging, but also like almost like devotion as well. Like what is it that is important to you maybe about doing that, like this community and giving back, and what is it that's important to you about that?
Why is it important?
Yeah, what is it that's important about it for you?
Well, first of all, I come from a deficit. I left my community.
Yeah.
I left my original community, which was Greece and Thessaloniki and back home.
Yeah.
And obviously that creates a bit of a gap.
Sure.
And belonging and wanting to belong. It's a huge thing in human sort of evolution, and because together in teams, in groups, we survive, right? That's it's primal. So having a deficit of community and not caring about my community up to 2019 as much as I do now, because I didn't care. I was doing well financially. My family was doing well. So what's the point of me overextending? What's the point of investing in something that I couldn't see a return, in a sense? So my capitalistic, I guess, my MBA, like my business training, I didn't care, man. And then lockdown. Lockdown changed me in so many ways. And community became a very important component of that change, because through community and the work that we do for the community, and I do for the community, I evolve myself.
Yeah.
So it's a parallel journey of interacting, and that interaction changes you. So in order for me to evolve as a human being and reach my capacity, capability, my potential, the work that I do with the community goes hand in hand. It's a prerequisite.
Yeah. I love that. I think it's, because there's a lot of people who I suppose are in similar positions who might not necessarily think in that way. People tend to be quite focused on their own journey, whereas it feels, I feel like you feel like your journey is everyone's journey almost. Like it's like,
True.
You know what I mean? True. Like, and it's, you use the word potential quite a lot. I'm curious, like if you imagine your potential being a sliding scale, like how far, or rather how close do you think you are to reaching it currently?
I don't think there's a limit, man. I told you before, I think we're like gods. I don't think there are limits.
Yeah.
I believe that we can, there's no scale that can put that potential. We can reach for the stars. We can create life. We can do a lot of things.
Yeah.
I think we can, we're the masters of our own fates. We're such powerful beings, man. And I don't think there's a limit. And because I don't believe there is a limit, therefore, there's no stop in the process of trying, to move forward, to achieve, to do more, I guess, in a sense. I'm not advocating action without purpose. it needs to be purposeful. And for me, currently, it's that community work through businesses. Now, I don't want to sound like a charity. I'm not. There's always a business interest in whatever we do. Triple bottom line, in other words,
Yeah, of course,
environment, people, and profit, because I'm running organizations that, obviously need to make profit in order to evolve and move on and be successful. But at the same time, purpose, it's such an important component, which wasn't up to 2018 to 2020. But since then, my success double, triple, quadruple, because I've added that purpose element into the mix with everything that we do.
Yeah, I think I massively agree with that. I think it's like sort of similar to the phrase, if you find something to do that you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And it sort of feels, that idea of purpose. I mean, the whole reason I do what I do is because I absolutely love it. It's what gets me going. I really get that sense from you too. What about, talk to me about some of the times when you feel like you've really come up against something and it felt like a block for you, and how you overcome that, maybe?
Yeah. Every day.
Okay.
Obviously. I mean, there are smaller, bigger ones.
Sure.
I mean, currently I'm going through a few challenges with businesses. But I've got my defense mechanisms, I guess, in place.
Okay.
One of them being, my family. Love for yourself to begin with.
Sure.
Because obviously without that, you can get down yourself, imposter syndrome. So all these things can really hit you sideways. I mean, they can knock you off course. So I know myself to a good degree. I mean, there's no stopping that learning process, knowing about yourself, but I know myself and I built that resilience, and the experience that's helping me that I've been through my life as well. But I think family and the people around me, it's my biggest fortress, my biggest defense. Because
that's your defense mechanism.
Well, yeah, absolutely. The defense in terms of responding to the challenges of business life in general.
Okay.
I know that I have the people around me that love and care for me. Therefore, I'm safe.
Yeah.
So whatever happens, success or failure in all of these challenges, it's not a prerequisite for love. I think Sam Thomas said it beautifully yesterday at one of his presentations the other day. It's not a prerequisite for love.
Yeah.
And when you decouple these things, the success element going with the love that you receive from yourself, first and foremost, and then the people around you, you're safe.
Yeah.
You can always go back to that.
I love that. And it doesn't surprise me that Sam put it beautifully. Sam was on the show the other day, actually, and I love Sam. And I have to say that I can relate personally to the thing that you talked about when you say family. Me and my wife don't have kids or anything like that. But funny enough, it was actually only this morning when I woke up and we were in bed together, and I was thinking about some stuff that I wasn't so happy with the way it was going within the business stuff. And I turned around and I looked at her, and she was asleep. She wouldn't even know that this happened, But I thought, whatever happens, this is home. This is, my family kind of thing. So I can really, really resonate with that.
Yeah. Bedrock, right? I mean,
yeah.
That's it. And another thing, sorry to interrupt you,
no, at all.
Olivier, is what you're doing there, what we're doing there is exercising perspective.
Yeah.
Perspective, it's a huge tool kind of in our arsenal, and shifting that perspective, in any given situation, you can get so many insights and ultimately make that huge problem that you woke up in the morning with a very tiny part of your experience.
Yeah.
Or for that particular month, week, or whatever.
Yeah.
Exercising perspective. And a very easy way to do that is that, there are no bombs falling in our heads right now.
Yeah.
There's no people shooting on us.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right? So immediately you're in a much better situation. That's perspective.
Definitely.
I think. I'm just giving you a very crude example of things, nasty things happening around the world. But we're safe, man. We're healthy. People love us. Whatever is happening out there, damn, it's not that important. The people going through chemo or radiotherapy or whatever. Exercising that perspective on a daily basis against these things that are hitting your brain, I think it's it's definitely a way to de-escalate, I guess, within your brain.
Yeah, 100%. And it's funny. Like I do a lot of this stuff with my clients. The way that I train, we were told it was called perceptual repositioning.
Right.
So it's essentially, I mean, in a nutshell, it's half empty, half full, right? Glass half empty, glass half full.
Exactly.
It depends on your perception. I'm interested, if you don't mind sharing, like, so you talked about some of the current blocks that you feel like you have at the moment. Like, if you don't mind sharing something about that.
But some of them are technical in nature.
Okay, fair enough.
For example, we're giving up one of our business premises. We're going through back and forth solicitors and all that. So it's quite a difficult journey to navigate.
Sure.
And obviously it's spiking kind of, every day with something new. So, but then again, I mean, that's a prime example of, do you know what? Something comes, an email comes or a phone call with some bad news, I guess, during the process. And it's like, do you know what? This will pass. It's not that important. Look at the journey. Yeah. And we have a time, movie time with your son in the evening. So fucking chaos, do you know what I mean? Perspective. I think overall, I mean, going deeper, I mean, not the processual or operational issues that I'm facing on a day-to-day basis, because we're running 3-4 businesses, and obviously there will be things happening all the time. Goods, bad, whatever you want to label them. Yeah. And by the way, labeling, I try to label them as experiences that are teaching you something and making you stronger or more knowledgeable for the next bit of the journey as well. Yeah. So I do come from like a bit of a Buddhist background. My wife is Buddhist. She's born in Thailand, so born and bred Buddhist. And I've done a lot of work with the Buddhist Center in Brighton over the last few years, meditation, so on and so forth. So all of them are experiences. There's no bad or good. They're just experiences. Sure. And the only thing that you can derive from them is learning and understanding. Yeah. And that's, for me, is very important. But overall, I mean, if you go a little sort of a layer deeper, I'm preoccupied with that purpose that I've mentioned to you earlier. And how can I be more effective, and how my purpose can drive even more of my actions. Yeah, I guess I do have a son, a 10-year-old. I'm a dad, and that purpose and what we do with the environment, with people around us, is preoccupying my is getting a lot of my attention. How can I be better? How can I improve on that? And sometimes we not sometimes, I mean, all the time we make mistakes, and how can we improve that? So that's a big part of my concern. Am I living up to that, again, potential? And because people see up to me, business person of the year, or boss, or the leader, or the collaborator, and all that, how can I make sure that I represent myself, my family, my businesses adequately, ethically, honestly out there? So that is a big concern. And how can I make a difference, man? Because at the end of the day, we're not going to be here for too long. I'm a custodian in terms of the planet, the environment, the community. So how do I leave this place in a better position, in a better state? And whatever is happening, and obviously you look around the world, and pessimism is surrounding us. So I can't help sometimes feel pessimistic about the state of affairs. So yeah, but I do know that I have the power to do things. I'm a doer. So I have the power to do things and change things, at least around me, in my immediate environment. That's why community is such an important thing, because I can actually impact change. Yeah. I might not be able to do that on a global scale. I'm not the president or whatever, but at least within my community, I can do something about it.
I love the focus on the things that you can control as opposed to the things that you can't control. You mentioned a few things there, like in terms of like having to represent, people who look up to you, the business owner of you, like obviously you're a father as well. Like, how heavy do all those things feel? I'm just really curious about that. Like, when you think about it and you sit down, how I don't want to use the word pressure, because I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like, I'm curious to know how this what the weight of this feels like
Sure.
for you.
I think it's in everything in life, you can assign weight.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
assign weight. I mean, it doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to be less than. It just has to be right.
Yeah.
So I think I'm trying to assign weight so it doesn't sink me. What's the right?
Drown you?
I mean, drown me, exactly, pull me down,
Yeah.
or make me a bit sort of lightheaded. Wow, got it. Business person of the year, 2 years. No, I've got this.
Yeah.
So I try to be as pragmatic as possible,
Yeah.
and absolutely use them as drivers and motivation. It's like stress.
Yeah.
You can either use it to move you forward,
Sure.
or you can let it take over and just hammer you. As if people going up on, doing presentation, you need to use that stress creatively. So in the same manner, in the same way, you need to use these pressures, I guess, or motivators, or whatever you want to call them, in the right way
Yeah.
to be able to use them as fuel to drive you forward. So yes, absolutely, I do feel the weight and the responsibility, but at the same time, I'm kind to myself as well,
Okay.
not to allow them to drown me.
Yeah. And which, if you had, I guess maybe like buckets, like, so there's like business owner here, there's like dad, and then there's, imagine that sort of concepts of people looking up to you. So which bucket feels heavier, do you think? The heaviest?
I think family.
Okay.
I think I'm more responsible to my family,
Yeah.
because of the emotional connection, because of, obviously. And so, yeah, first and foremost, family.
Okay.
Well, I would say myself, because everything starts with us, with me,
Sure. Yeah.
right? And then extend that to the family. But yeah, just outside myself, I would probably say family. I want to be the best dad, husband, that I can be,
Yeah.
evolve into that. So that would probably be my,
Okay.
my initial primary.
Okay, that makes sense. And I want to go back to another word that you use a lot, which is the word purpose.
Purpose,
And what does that mean to you? The word purpose. What's the importance of that?
It's a compass.
Okay.
It's in the darkness, in when you're blind, purpose gives you direction. Purpose leads the way, and once you identify that purpose, then things become so much easier. It's like a little puzzle, we like in the dark, blind in the dark, and then purpose, man, and that drives you, and everything is derived from that purpose moving forward. And I'll give you an example. During the lockdown, done the personal work, the personal development, therapist, reflection, meditation, all that. Stop having some bad habits, stopped all that. I mean, it was an evolutionary environment for me. And then looked at the business. And obviously you start doing things within yourself, and then you start trying to change your environment around you as well. It's a second part of the process. Change yourself, change things around you, right? So the most immediate environment are my businesses and the people that I'm associating with. And then start looking at the business and reflecting and deep diving on the business. And I came to the conclusion that everything that we do, it's all about well-being.
Yeah.
Food, well-being. What you eat is what you are. Massage treatments, well-being. Physical well-being, which impacts emotional well-being. So everything that we've done was all about well-being.
Yeah.
So purpose came through an understanding and an insight at looking at my environment and making sense out of it. So our purpose, which is currently driving every decision and every iteration of whatever businesses we built since then, is to impact, to influence, to improve, whatever word you want to use, the physical and emotional well-being of 1 million people throughout our community. So that's what's driving me. Yeah. Every decision that I'm making, internally, externally, personal, in connection to the businesses and to my personal life as well.
So I love that. As a term as well, compass is great. Like it's, I do think people make better decisions when they're driven by something like that, because I think a lot of, you have, I'm sure if you're familiar with like intrinsic and extrinsic motivation,
yeah.
And I feel like whenever we're intrinsically motivated by something, it's going to be it's going to lead us to a path of success, where however long that takes, you know. Do you see anything else like kind of coming up in this wellness space for you? Because I hadn't picked up on that, but you're right. It does feel like there's a theme there. Like, are you seeing anything else like coming along?
From a business perspective?
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of evolution of the businesses?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely give you an update. But absolutely, intrinsic, theories out there for many decades. Unfortunately, businesses haven't picked up on it.
Yeah.
So we're still using the stick, the carrot, and so on and so forth in such a crude way.
Yeah.
So, and I think, especially because of the lockdown and the coming down and the change in and obviously millennials and Zs kind of coming through.
Yeah.
I think all that has expedited the process of the intrinsic motivation theory being incorporated into playbooks throughout the corporate and business world, which I think is a great development. And I've read a few books over the last years in that sort of the theory in the field, which I think it's great, and we definitely need to move along with how we motivate people, especially with that relation between work-life balance thing, you want to call it. But that's another topic. In terms of us and wellbeing space, yes, over the last 3 years, we've launched 2 new businesses because both Nostos and Little Jasmine are more of a B2C model, so business to consumer businesses. And I thought, right, how do I amplify that wellness message into groups and markets and demographics that I don't have access to through that B2C model?
Yeah.
And the realization, and obviously alongside some more development, I've done the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Businesses
I saw
program,
that,
which was what an experience. Oxford University, 2,500 businesses over the last 15 years going through this. It's just a huge mechanism, I guess, motivator to jumpstart your business, into the sort of growth pattern. But for me, that B2B model, getting into the workplace and redefining wellness into the workspace, became a bit of a mantra, I guess.
Yeah.
So the Be Well, Live Well, which we launched 6 months ago in collaboration with Brighton University, we've done a lot of work with them as well. It's really an attempt to redefine wellness in the workplace on a B2B scale, which means larger audiences. For example, a few weeks back, we worked with Legal & General, and in one day, we impacted about 200 people through nutritionist workshops and through massage treatments. So immediately, 200 people that go onto the tally, towards the 1 million people, purpose, throughout the community. And the other iteration, and Little Jasmine, obviously the B2B, it's Be Well, Live Well. And Nostos became Nostos Catering, which again, we're getting into office space and corporate spaces, and we're providing that wellness through food on a larger scale. And that again is living, it's true, the connecting with our purpose of influencing and impacting, the wellness of physically or emotionally of 1 million people as well. So that's the evolution of our businesses from B2C into B2B. The B2C are still there, but it's just obviously we have 4 businesses to run now.
I think that's a great kind of next step, isn't it? Because there are so many companies that just, you use the analogy a minute ago with the dangling the carrot and stuff, and it's so true that culture still exists in a lot of companies, and I think that we should really be focusing on more the wellness of people, because it's you can't pour from an empty cup, right? If your staff are drained and they're fatigued and everything, then how can you expect to run a good business? So I think it's fantastic what you're doing in that space to bring it into. Do you see? Because it's almost, I'm almost saying like the beginning of a mission here. It sounds like, you know what I mean? Like it's like you said, obviously the B2C is still going to be there, but I'm seeing like a kind of a new journey starting for you right now.
Man. Absolutely, I'm so excited about it. We've been, as I said, the origin start from that lockdown and that personal reflection point and time with myself.
Yeah.
Start loving more myself And then, well-being works for me.
Yeah.
Probably works for everyone else as well. Let's start doing that for our staff, for our customers.
Yeah.
Let's change the structure of the businesses to impact more people. Yes, absolutely. It's true to the mission. It's true to the purpose. So you see, all the decisions are deriving from that. Because every decision that you make, you go back to the purpose and you ask the question, does that enhance? Is it neutral? Does it help or doesn't? And then you make decisions based on that. How easy it is. I never saw businesses like that before.
Yeah.
Doing business like that before. It was always like, is the profit margin there? If it's not, who fucking cares? Is it, and all that. But once you incorporate purpose, my God, the universe opens up. And it makes business sense as well, which is, counterintuitive in a sense. But it does make sense to open up and give back to the community. We do the social clubs in the Big Fat Greek Club, which is an adoration of building community. Thanks for being there a few times. Which is really giving back.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't make money from it, but it's such a powerful mechanism.
Yeah.
In order to get the message out there and connect with people. And that obviously has its own dynamic, secondary, tertiary, the waves that it makes. And I believe in the waves. I believe in the power of the ripple effect that you can create through businesses, through personal action as well. So yeah, I'm really excited about this new turn, and we're creating what we're just fit for purpose in a sense, in order to live, to the purpose that we've outlined a few years back. So yeah, I'm super excited about that.
And what about like sort of looking, because I'm super excited for this new kind of chapter that you're starting. Like, I'm just thinking in terms of like you strike me as someone who's quite into your sort of personal development as well as like, everything else kind of thing. What do you see as being some things that you would like to work on maybe for yourself personally, do you think?
Always space for development, but more resilience, more understanding, more awareness, more empathetic as a leader. I try to live to the principle of lead from the front, but also be a servant leader. So what are the needs of my people? And how can I actuate them? How can I help them deliver on that? So I'm becoming an enabler rather than this is the way and this is how we're going to drive things. So my leadership style is changing. Throughout the last few years. So I'm working on that to become a bit more hands-off, trust people more, and then give them the tools and the opportunity to excel. And we've done that with my executive team. Wow. I mean, they've that intrinsic. We were talking reward system that, it's taking them, they're delivering and they're connected to the business and to me in ways that I've never seen before. Truly committed, truly the business belongs to them in a sense. And I've, so creating that environment, I think it's a key prerequisite in order to reach that state of commitment and bonds, I guess, between, people that work within your organizations. Back to your question, I'm trying to become a better leader through these vehicles, through this change of mindset and behavior. I guess I don't get it always right, but I'm always mindful. That's my arrival point.
So I have a couple of questions. The first one that springs to mind is like, what made you want to make that shift? Like we said, like I'm trying to be a better leader. Like great that you are. I mean, like I could certainly have done with a manager like you when I was back in a few jobs before. But like, what drove you to make that shift?
My purpose.
Of course.
Purpose.
Okay.
It's about wellness, right? How to improve the wellness of my people.
Okay.
By giving them opportunities, by allowing them to do their thing, by trusting them more, by, buying properties and giving them to them, for example, the program that we have for, below market value, by, all that. And that lives true to the purpose. As I said, every decision, does link up with that purpose that we set a few years back.
Okay. So what more do you think you would like to be doing in this space of like becoming a better leader? Like what do you feel like you haven't done yet, but you would like to try and do?
Specifics, right?
If this is an area for you that you know a focus, like what haven't you tried yet? Do you think?
I haven't tried yet. I think that I'm still mindful of the fact that my attachments are still fairly strong with the businesses and whatever I'm building around me. I very much take it personally, the success or not of them.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe, obviously, that brings the necessary mental energy and physical energy to run these things and be effective and be successful. But ultimately, detachment from all these things that I'm building that are not mine but belong to everyone or everything, I think that's probably one of the end points of development personally.
Okay.
That will liberate me, my mind, my time, to be even more effective and truthful to my mission of wellness and well-being. So I still feel that I'm fairly attached to whatever I do, very proud in some cases of the effect that it has. Business Person of the Year, yeah, twice in a row, yeah, this and that. So I still feel that I am unhealthily, not healthy, connected and attached to these creations of mine.
Okay.
And I think the end point or the arrival point for that, for me to be totally detached and see them as vehicles only that produce or not something, a result, which is the wellness, the purpose. But yeah, I take a lot of personal joy in them. And in the Buddhist sense, that's not good.
Okay.
Not good to be attached, because that brings sadness and that brings all these negativity, I guess, that is connected with attachment in general. I'm not there yet, so yeah.
Okay, I mean, I'm really interested, but it's like, you know, you described it as like almost like an unhealthy attachment. What do you think you could do, or how could you maybe be in order to be slightly more detached from these businesses?
So the acid test is give them up.
Really?
Well, yeah, man. I mean, that's it. That's the ultimate, right? Give them up.
Completely detached.
Well, yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, they don't define me, but because they do define me, at least that's what I think, they're so important to me. If they don't define me, and Kyriakos is just Kyriakos, not the boss of Little Jasmine, not the owner of Nostos, not the guy who does good food, who's Business Person of the Year, who's just done the Goldman Sachs program, who's chaired the University of Brighton advisory board, very recent. You've heard it here first. All that, that's not me. That's just like things that happen, But if I detach myself kind of from all that, oh my God, the freedom, the weight of all these things potentially, which I'm very proud of. Don't get me wrong, and society wants you to be proud of. Well done. People look up to you and all that. But ultimately, they're dead weight, man, because I'm gonna die one day, and it's not gonna be, that would have been it. That would have been life. So, in order to truly reach freedom, I think I need to detach myself ultimately from all this. Yeah, I mean, is there any other way?
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, now I have to ask, like, what would it take for you to do that?
Oh, I can't even fathom, man. I put it here as a theoretical, proposition, but for me, I mean, all my instincts are against it.
Okay.
But I do have the awareness to put it on the table as a vehicle for freedom, because I think, I believe in it. But reaching that point, all the things within me, kind of fiber in my body is against me, because it's status and success and surviving and a certain life that I live, and a certain car that I drive, and all that. But ultimately, everything is bullshit. Ultimately, in the thing.
Yeah.
But as I said, I'm still trying to evolve into a better human being. So yeah.
So you say like there's so many things that are stopping you from doing that, right? And it's like, so like you've got Kyriakos is here, and you've got the detachment of like the businesses here. Now, I'm going to use your own rules against you.
Go for it, man. I love
so
it.
your compass, right?
Judo, yeah.
Good. I was never very good at that. Hopefully I'm a better coach. Your compass is your purpose, right? So how could you use your compass to get you from here to here?
Good. That's a very good question, I think. And, it doesn't escape me that a certain level of skills and capabilities and status does help deliver on that mission. But it's a fine line of differentiating the delivery on that mission and that personal status things that you derive, and that proudness that you derive during this process. So I'm very mindful that my financial, social status helps me and provides an example, my peers and people around me. And that's a very positive effect. But how I feel about it, and the proudness and that sort of, it doesn't necessarily mean that is a positive thing for me. So if I differentiate and make myself separate onto that process, that ultimately might not be an evolutionary relationship or a positive relationship with whatever I have in my life. I don't know if it makes sense. But I'm not my businesses.
Yeah.
I'm not, the business person of the year. I'm not that. I'm Kyriakos. But I'm riding on these things because it feels good.
Okay.
Yes, I know. It's got a lot of positiveness that's happening around because of all that. But ultimately, that might be stopping me being Kyriakos in Thailand feeding children, that we've done through one of the businesses, full time. I'm just giving you an example.
Yeah.
Or Kyriakos, being sort of in Africa, doing the next well there, some, digging or whatever. So all I'm saying is that absolutely there's positivity up here with everything that we do, but ultimately that's not me. It's just a thing that I do. So yeah, from a personal perspective, I think detaching yourself from this is probably the next evolutionary point. If I'm going to be able to do that, I'm not sure. But at least I'm recognizing it and I'm aware of it. As I was aware back in Greece that I'm not living up to my true potential. So I don't know where I'm going to be in 5 to 10 years from now. I'm just give up everything and trying to find more authentic relationship between me and my life, the experiences that I'm going through. But yeah, I built this from nothing. It doesn't necessarily mean it's me though. So
yeah, and that's a really good point, because you have built it from nothing, so I can appreciate where that attachment comes from, and perhaps why it's hard to detach. If you imagine that complete detachment is the goal for you, to give you the freedom to explore the other opportunities that you described, and you are where you are, what would you think? So like after we speak today, for example, like what would you feel as being like one small step that you can make in that direction? Like a specific action, do you think?
Sure, specific action.
Or it could even be like some inner work or journey. It doesn't have to be like necessarily specific action, but...
Sure. So only talking about it or only bringing it onto the table with you today, it makes it real. So that's the first step. That is a step. Because I have to say, I never said that to anyone else before.
Wow.
But I'm thinking about it. I'm cognitive. I'm aware of that. That's ultimately the attachment that I'm feeling is not healthy with everything that, or that persona that Kyriakos, best business person of the year, thinks. So I'm using that again and again and again. Goddamn proud now. It's all right.
Okay.
But ultimately, I know that there's not a healthy relationship with that. And if I'm really proud and, I'm kind of to get more out of it as well. So it becomes even more healthy. So becoming aware and understanding that dichotomy, I guess, that Kyriakos is not that. It's something much more, much richer, much deeper, much more insightful, much, a human being in its fullness. That's progress.
Love that.
Because ultimately, if you have that internal dialogue and it's authentic and you talk to yourself and you have that process going on and, then all that is not being hidden away under a blanket inside a box. It's out there to work with in everything that you do. And because I feel I've reached that understanding with myself up to a certain degree, I'm not saying that, all that will play a big part in the sort of next few steps in my life and my career, or whatever you want to call it, as a human, my journey, that's much more beautiful as a human being. So yeah, I'm aware of it, and that's progress.
And by the way, I'm honored that this is the first time you said that. Like, I'm curious now. Like, now that you've said that, now that you have put that on the table, like, how are you feeling about it?
Good.
Really?
Good, because I'm an action person as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm immediately thinking, what if I can hand over, this to that person or that thing? I mean, like immediately.
Yeah.
Maybe
your brain's going.
Yeah, exactly. How do I reach that point that I don't need, maybe the money, all that? How do I reach that point of detachment, I guess, through a logical pattern and sequence, because obviously I do have responsibilities that I need to leave to family, so on and so forth. But yeah, bringing into the light, this is it makes it a real thing and makes it a thing that I need to continue working on.
Love that.
And obviously that's what I'm going to take away from today's podcast.
Love that. Kyriakos, Esparisto, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on Business Blocks. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me. It's been wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Man. Need, maybe the money, all that. How do I reach that point of detachment, I guess, through a logical pattern and sequence, because obviously I do have responsibilities that I need to leave to family, so on and so forth. But yeah, bringing into the light, this is it makes it a real thing and makes it a thing that I need to continue working on.
Love that.
And obviously that's what I'm going to take away from today's podcast.
Love that. Kyriakos, Esparisto, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on Business Blocks. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me. It's been wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.